Something explosive just happened, and it could send shockwaves through the U.S. economy. Donald Trump is in full meltdown mode after China and Canada inked a record-breaking oil agreement that completely bypasses the United States. Billions of barrels that once flowed south into America are now being rerouted straight to Asia, and the consequences are immediate and brutal. Why is this such a big deal? Because it all started with Trump's own tariffs. In an effort to force auto production back into the U.S., Trump slapped a 25% tax on imported vehicles and parts from China, Mexico, and even Canada. But instead of bowing down, Canada fired back with oil. Now, American gas prices are set to spike. U.S. automakers are sounding the alarm. Higher fuel costs, skyrocketing production expenses, and a brutal squeeze on supply chains. General Motors, Ford, and Toyota are already warning of price hikes, job cuts, and a shrinking market, all thanks to a trade war gone nuclear. The fallout is just beginning, and in this video we're exposing the full chain reaction, how a single deal between Canada and China could upend the entire American automotive landscape. The shockwaves from this oil pact aren't just geopolitical, they're mechanical, industrial, and painfully economic. Here's the brutal truth. American automakers rely heavily on stable energy prices. When oil gets expensive, everything does. Shipping, manufacturing, supply chains, and most importantly, the cost of running a vehicle. Ford and Stellantis are already on high alert. Why? Because the cost of operating their US-based plants is about to explode. Many of these facilities are still geared toward internal combustion engines, gasoline guzzlers that now cost significantly more to fuel, test, and distribute. That eats into profit margins fast. But it's not just the factories feeling the heat. Car buyers are next. Rising gas prices mean Americans may think twice before purchasing fuel-hungry SUVs or pickups. That's a big problem for Detroit, where full-size trucks and family haulers are the backbone of sales. Worse yet, supply chains are already under strain from Trump's tariffs on imported parts. Now, toss in soaring transportation costs due to this oil redirection, and you've got the perfect storm. What we're witnessing isn't just a trade spat. It's a real-time stress test for the entire American auto industry, one that might force a radical shift toward EVs, not because of vision, but because of necessity. Let's not sugarcoat it. You're going to feel this. As Canadian oil flows east toward China, U.S. consumers are left watching fuel prices creep back up, or in some places skyrocket. And when filling your tank starts costing more than your weekly groceries, something's got to give. For many families, this isn't just a pinch, it's a financial punch, especially in a country where millions still rely on combustion vehicles for daily commutes, school runs, and long-distance travel. And now, those costs could go through the roof. But here's the twist. This could become the unintended push America needs to finally embrace electric. Think about it, between soaring gas prices, global instability, and Trump's trade tariffs choking component imports, it might actually be cheaper and smarter for drivers to switch to a hybrid or EV. And the automakers know it. Brands like Tesla, Rivian, and Hyundai are watching this oil chaos unfold with a smirk. Their factories are primed, their supply chains, mostly domestic, and demand for their battery-powered vehicles is rising with every jump in gas station prices. But there's one huge catch. The EV infrastructure still isn't ready. Charging networks are uneven. Battery materials are in short supply. And if millions of drivers flood into the EV market overnight, the system might not be able to handle it. So the question becomes, will this fuel shock trigger the EV revolution early, or just leave American drivers stranded between two broken systems? If you think this is just about fuel at the pump, think again. The real storm is brewing inside American factories. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Energy prices are surging. When manufacturing plants have to pay more for electricity, heating, and logistics, guess who ends up footing the bill? That's right, you, the buyer. Expect higher sticker prices, fewer discounts, and longer waits. Supply chains are under siege. With Trump's tariffs on car components and materials still in place, and the added pressure of a shaky oil market, automakers are scrambling. Shipping delays, shortages of steel, aluminum, semiconductors. It's a perfect storm. Jobs are at stake. As production costs soar, many companies are reevaluating their investment plans. Plants expected to expand could freeze hiring. In worst-case scenarios, jobs might vanish altogether. The irony? The tariffs were meant to protect American jobs, but combined with this oil shock, they could end up doing the opposite. Even giants like Ford and GM are sweating. Privately, they're lobbying behind closed doors, begging the administration to either ease the tariffs or offer subsidies to offset these shocks. So far, no relief in sight. This is where policy meets reality. Because when raw materials get more expensive and energy becomes volatile, the cost of building a car in America becomes a lot less competitive. And in a global market, that's a death sentence. While the U.S. struggles with tariffs and rising fuel costs, other countries are racing ahead. China just secured a long-term supply of Canadian oil, giving its industries a huge edge in energy stability and pricing. That means cheaper logistics, lower manufacturing costs, and an even stronger hold on the EV and battery market. Europe isn't sitting still either. With access to diversified energy and strong policy incentives, European automakers are doubling down on electrification without facing the same production headwinds the U.S. is experiencing. Meanwhile, in America, car prices could soar. EV adoption might stall, and U.S. brands may lose market share, not just abroad, but at home too. So what's the big picture? The oil pact between China and Canada isn't just an energy deal. It's a strategic play that's shaking the foundation of America's auto industry. And while Trump lashes out on social media, the pressure on U.S. automakers and drivers is building in silence. The world is changing fast, and energy politics are now driving the future of the auto industry. Will the U.S. adapt or fall behind? Let us know in the comments what you think about this China-Canada oil deal and how it could shape the future of driving in America. And if you want real breakdowns without fluff, subscribe now. This is Motorscope, where the road meets reality.